Alright, welcome back to Survival Addiction. Today we will be going over tourniquets. We're going to use two tourniquets that are actually good. So a CAT-7 tourniquet and then a SWAT-T. And then we'll be using these two tourniquets that are just the off-brand Amazon tourniquets. Oh, and this is my sister Melanie. That actually worked. It's kind of shocking. So this is just an Amazon brand one, but if it worked, so kind of shocking. I think about for sure it's great. That's kind of exciting. I think I'd still trust them. Yeah, but this one is just a cheap piece of crap, a cheap piece of crap. Sorry. This one is just a cheap piece of crap that came with my first aid kit. It's got a little latch there. Pull it here. Yeah, we're not even certain it will. Yeah, I personally have zero, like I'll never use this if, yeah. There's, yeah. sure I could make a better tourniquet.
Where you're probably not going to do IVs, this is pretty much a piece of junk. Don't use it.
Pretty much. And then the last one is a SWAT-T tourniquet. I carry this one around with me everywhere, just because it's lightweight and easy to carry. This cheap little Amazon one worked also. I'm not sure it would work on a leg. You want to try a leg?
We could try a leg.
You want to try a leg? We'll try a leg. We'll see.
Alright, that's included, yeah.
Okay, so surprisingly it works. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, they're very kind of hurt.
One thing that you should know about tourniquets is it doesn't feel good. They really hurt. Yeah. But anyways, that's today's little video. Okay, so earlier we did demonstrations for the 4 tourniquets, and we're just going to go over them a little bit more, just so you guys kind of understand what the process was and what I was actually doing during each of the tourniquets. Okay, so this tourniquet is the Dew Hill tourniquet from Amazon. This one surprised me the most. Okay, so one thing that you will notice is when I put this on my sister Melanie is it was already staged. So having a tourniquet staged is big. So if you need to hurry and put the tourniquet on, you can just redo it, tighten it. Okay. And then, as you saw, I stopped right before the windlass and right before, let me just loosen that a little bit since I forgot to do that before we got done. And right before this right here. Okay, so once you know where it is, so let's say I have attached this here, okay, that's where I want it to be, then I'm okay to finish threading that through. And then at the end, you would put this here and you would put a time on it. So this is important. So when you get to the hospital setting, nurses and doctors and anyone that will be working on this person that you're saving, even if it's yourself, it's good to have the time so they know how long it's been on someone. So anyways, that's what I did there. Okay, and this honestly shocked me. So this is a $9 tourniquet, okay? So CAT-7 Tourniquets, the brand that the military uses, right? They have a lot of knockoff brands trying to copy them, and a lot of the time it's not done well. The tourniquets are really crappy, the windlass breaks, the strap can't tighten enough. You still get a pulse. So as you noticed, I was checking for a pulse. If I still felt a pulse, then I would give that windlass another turn, okay? So one way to prevent having to turn the windlass too much is you try and tighten this as much as you can, and you don't want any more than 3 fingers underneath. If you can fit 3 fingers underneath, then you can tighten it still. So you want to tighten this more, that way you don't have to use the windlass as much. So they don't recommend using the same tourniquets you train with for the tourniquets that you actually use in real life. In this case, this would probably be okay still. I mean, honestly, if I had a brand new one, I'd probably do that one first, but this one's probably okay. As far as I can see, I don't see any tears or rips, and it looks like the windlass still has a good amount of tension. So this would still be good. So if you guys are looking for a cheap tourniquet, this might be something that you could possibly look into. Personally, I would still choose the CAT-7 tourniquet, just because I've experience with the CAT-7 tourniquet. But I was really impressed with this off-brand. So if you can't notice, you can see some pretty big differences. Okay, so this windlass is a lot more sturdy. The time is actually gray. And if you notice, there's like rivets, and the cloth is a really good, strong cloth. This worked great also. These are both pretty good. I honestly really was shocked by this Amazon. I keep saying that, but I wouldn't have trusted my life on this, and I was shocked that I was able to occlude her arm and her leg. Okay, that was pretty shocking for me. This would actually have saved her life if I needed it. So that was shocking. You can tell some differences. So right here, you can see that this is already having some wear, and I've only used it twice, okay? Tourniquets, they don't usually recommend that you use them a whole lot, because when you need them to work, you need them to work. If you use them a ton, then it's possible you'll have a critical fail, and then that person will continue to bleed. Okay, and then I'm not even going to talk about the other Amazon tourniquet because it was just a piece of crap. it was just crappy. It was just not good. Not good at all. Okay. So as far as this one goes, this did its job. Okay. They recommend that if you are going to use something else as a tourniquet, one that's not a commercial tourniquet, that it's pretty wide. They don't recommend a rat tourniquet. I know a lot of people say they carry those, but you're more likely to cause damage to the flesh with the really, really thin tourniquets. So this is good that it's so thick. It's less likely to cause a ton of tissue damage. And the nice thing about this is it's pretty self-explanatory. So you stretch it, you wrap it, and then eventually at the end you tuck it, okay? There is not a spot specifically made for time on this, but if you are using it as a tourniquet, you would just put time when you got done, occluding their limb. The nice thing that I like about the SWAT tourniquet is it's more than just a tourniquet. You can use it as a splint. You can use it as a pressure bandage. So there's a couple other uses for it as well, which is really nice, because how often are you going to actually need a tourniquet? Probably not very often. I doubt that everyone even has an experience in their life that they would need this. But if you need it, you really need it. And a lot of the time, people are too afraid to help with things. So it's best if you can, at least with like the big things like bleeding. So like with the tourniquet, if you need it, it's nice if you have it on yourself, because then you can just apply it and you don't have to wait for someone else. It doesn't take very long for you to bleed all of your blood out, especially if you have an arterial bleed. And oftentimes, if you are bleeding and you are like wearing jeans, it takes a while for that to soak through enough to see that to show people that, wow, oh my gosh, that's a lot of blood. We need to stop that. By the time they can already see it, you don't have very much longer left. But anyways, guys, I hope this kind of explains it a little bit better. I know I was being very quiet during the application, just because when I like to do those things, I like to focus. Sorry guys, that is my cat Newt. Jump on down, Newt. Anyways, you're supposed to practice like as if it was in real life. So in her case, I was trying to just get it on quickly, efficiently, and I didn't want her to have that on for too long, because as I said, tourniquets are extremely painful. She ended up having a bruise on her arm after we were done. And I just wouldn't want her to have that on her arm any longer than she needed it. I mean, it is safe to have it on for short periods of time. I think, if I remember right, they said it takes up to 3 hours for it to be dangerous for you. So it's unlikely that putting a tourniquet on someone would be harmful for them, especially if they are having an arterial bleed. It's more beneficial for you to put that on them, even if it's painful. Sometimes pain is just a necessary evil with this thing. Anyways, guys, I'm sorry for rambling on. This is just something really important to me. But anyways, thanks again for joining in at Survival Addiction, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.